Welcome to HopePulse with Masi Njoroge. When life happens as it does, then there is a lifting up. HopePulse with Masi Njoroge.
Welcome to HopePulse. Today we are discussing rekindling the original me. When we talk of the original me, there are two ways of living. I can be living my whole life to my full potential, or I'm just doing life. Let me call it just existing. And most of the time, when we get to this position, it is because of the things that we go through in life. When we go through a major shake-up in life, when the pain is too much, sometimes we develop some coping mechanism. And if we are not careful, the person that I become after that is greatly determined by the choices I make at that point and the coping mechanisms that I choose. I want us to look at one coping mechanism where we escape from the reality. So what I normally do at that point, I'm running away from myself. Some of the things that normally happen, one person will be over-religious. And when I mean over-religious, it's not about being saved. It is running away in the church. And this is not godly. It is not about the Holy Spirit. So what you'll find yourself doing, most of the time, you'll find yourself in the church more times than your pastor or your priest. You're there on Monday when you're supposed to be working, you are still in the church. You are a member of every group until you're not performing in any of them because you are running away. So you are just looking for things to do, but not necessarily that you're deep in prayer or connected in the Holy Spirit. What you're just trying to do is to move out, but now this time you are moving out in the church. Then how it projects, sometimes you find somebody, they sound like it's a lot of faith. I know God is going to do it. I know I'm going to make it. I know this thing is not bigger than me. In the sound of it, it may look like faith. But in the real sense, when you assess that person deep inside, you will realize they have not even processed a bit of that pain. They have not even faced it. What they are just doing, they are running away from that situation. So because in their system, in your system that I love God, I trust in God. That is what I'm supposed to be. So I get the feeling of, because I'm a Christian, because I believe in God, maybe I'm not supposed to be breaking down in tears. I'm not supposed to be so discouraged, which generally, in the real sense, it is okay to be down. Because that is the season. It is okay to be angry at times when seasons demand so. It is okay for me to feel low. It is not that I don't believe in God, but when I don't get myself to that space of accepting that I am hurt, this situation is difficult, I now develop that other person that is running away. So what happens now, people will be observing and they'll realize you look confused, you look a bit lost, it looks like faith. And that's why you find people now saying these church people who are confused, because you'll be looking confused, because it is not now the spirit directed action, it is the fear of facing the reality that is pushing you to doing that. Another coping mechanism that people develop that is an escape to the reality is you run away to abuse of drugs. And you'll find it most of the time even showing on TikTok. Somebody has gone through something, they've broken up and they've gone to the bar, give me one, give me two, and they're just drinking themselves out. Out of it, if somebody is not careful, today they take, tomorrow they wake up, you're sober. You still face the same thing. And because you don't want to face it, you again go back. By the time you realize, you've already gone deep into alcoholism and you're not able to get yourself out of it. Or if you are taking maybe other types of drugs, you're already deep into those drugs. Maybe I'm not able to sleep. It is okay to take something to help me to sleep. But then if I do it now and then, every other time, then I get addicted to that. So meaning I cannot sleep unless I'm under that influence. And then if it persists, you will take and they will not work. Because now even the system has gotten used now to these drugs. The other coping mechanism that is somebody adopts when they are escaping is sexual relationship. And this is not love. What happens I would call it in the Kiswahili language, bora mtu tu. So you want this feeling. Maybe you lost your husband, you lost your wife, you lost a loved one, you lost your family. Because of that disconnect, our system will always want to go back to that default. So what the system will be demanding from you, you want that touch, you want that hold. And because you don't have that person, if you're not careful, the system will push you immediately to get into another relationship, not with the person you love or you have any feelings with. You just want that feeling. It is the feeling of that touch, that sexual, that I would call it, the body develops a system. The emotions that come up when you hold somebody closely in an intimate way, it is not the same way if you hug somebody intimately. When people are in a close relationship, it is not the same way with a church hug. So because you are longing for this feeling, you hide yourself. You are not able to face the fact that I have lost my wife, I have lost my husband, I have lost this person, maybe it was my girlfriend, and because I want to keep on, like the system is not able to face it, I quickly get myself into another one. Now the danger with this is that I will go to this relationship, but because it is not, now that one, I loved the person. This one, I'm just with the person to run away from this pain of this loss that I have encountered. So because it is not love, by the time I'm leaving that relationship with this person, I will leave it more broken than I was. So before I know, I will leave this person. If I still don't develop the emotional muscle to be able to face this reality, I will again now run to another one. And that is why you find somebody can tell you in a span of 1 year, they have had maybe 10 relationships. They are not relating. It's not about feeling. They are just with anybody who is available to just offer them. Somebody who projects something like just trying to, liking you a bit. And you are in there and you are giving your whole emotions there because you have not been able to deal with it. So now, unfortunately, when I consistently do something, a habit done several times, it develops to a character. So as before knowing, the original person, the original mercy stops to live. Now the person who has been created by this coping mechanism is the one now that exists. So if you ask that person, why do you do this? They don't know. Why are you moving with every man? Why are you with this kind of a person? They don't know, because it is now not them living. You've put yourself, you have posed yourself. Now you are just living every day. Every day, just waking up, because it's in the morning, you wake up, you live that, you just flow with the day. You just flow with the way life is taking you. So, I want to give you a life experience. When I was a young girl, I got married when I was a very young girl. So when I got married, I was about, I would say 19, approaching 20. And immediately after that, I would say my marriage, it did not happen. It's a marriage, I normally say it never happened. It never happened in the essence of, we never got to board. So at the very initial time, I was in a foreign country. I am just 20 and I'm expectant. So with all this heavy weight on me, and then there's projection that this person did not love me the way I thought. So with that disappointment, my system got very confused. The ideal action at that point would have been to stop proceeding with the marriage. But when you stop living, you do many, many things just flowing with the things the way they are. So I found myself in a situation where we are living together. I am expecting a baby. We are fighting every day. There are a lot of chaos in that house, but we are continuing with the planning of the wedding. Why were we planning the wedding? Because the way I was brought up, as a Christian, you're not supposed to live with a man if you're not married in the church. So now we are not going to the marriage because we love each other or we are making a decision that we want to be with each other forever. We are just going because after all we are living together, and because we are living together, we are supposed to get married in the church. So I flew with it. So why am I flowing with this thing? At some point, mercy has stopped living. Mercy is literally just flowing with life. Now, before I knew, I was already in a marriage. By the end of the 9 months, I got a baby. Before 3 months, I got another one. So I'm a mother of 2 in a marriage that I also cannot explain. I don't even know if somebody asks me, why are you married to this person? I cannot really explain, even to myself, why I am here. Yet, I am already parenting. I am already in it. I am already at a foul. So in that confusion, my mind just locked. And I stopped living. I was only living for my children. And all for like about 10 years in my marriage, I was in my marriage because you are married in the church and God hates divorce. You know, you have children now for the sake of the children. So I was in the marriage for every other thing apart from me. There was nothing to do with me. It was just about my faith, my church, my children. Until now, at the end of about the 10th year, we separated completely. Did we break up at that time? No. That marriage was still not existing, because remember, we are not living because we love each other. We are living for many other reasons apart from us. So at this point of separation, because I was a Christian, I really felt bad about myself. And I found myself in a situation where I was asking myself, okay, I've been praying, I have been, you know, I've been a worshiper, I've been praying, I've been an intercessor. I looked at all the things that I have done in my life. I started comparing myself with the people who have been bad. You know, I would lay down my friends, my primary school friends, my high school friends, our neighbors, and I would look at the good ones, the worst ones, and it started aching me, and I started feeling, God, am I the worst sinner in the world? Why did my marriage have to get to this point? What is this sin that I'm paying for? So that took me further into a deeper pit. And I found myself in a situation, at some point, I just said, what is the essence of being good? After all, does it pay to be good? What have I benefited from by being good? I then went further, and because of the pain that I was going through, I remember at some point I was so low, and at a near death, the point that, you know, you're just wishing yourself dead, you are contemplating suicide, you are done with the life literally. And at that point, I listened to a YouTube channel. I think it was Pastor JJ who was talking at that time, and he just said, why would you want to close all the offices? Like, if the office of your marriage has been closed, remember, you are a sister, you are a daughter to somebody, you are a mother to somebody. And it aroused something in me. So I felt, I want to leave. But now this time, the Mercy who rose up to live for her children. And for so many years, I did so many things. I was actually doing very well, even at my working places. I moved from positions. I went even to the management level. But Mercy is literally not living. Mercy was existing for her children, existing for the name of their family, existing for existing for so many other reasons apart from Mercy. Until at some point when I went for a session, the counselor asked me, you know, what do you live for? And it hit my mind, for me, if today I ask you, remove your children, remove your job, remove your husband, remove your mother, remove all those things. Now you yourself, as a person, what do you live for? If I would ask you, what goals do you have for you, not for them? Because for children, yes, you'll have a goal, this goal for the child, you'll have this other goal, you'll have this other goal for all these people. You are pursuing for these children or for these people. But what about you? Who are you? What were you created for? Because yes, we parent, because yes, we have a responsibility to take care of our children. But does my life end at me just bringing up my children? Does it end at just me being married? Why did God create me? Why was I placed on earth at this point? Why are you living today? What is it that you are pursuing for you, not for all these other people? Most of the time you will realize we think we are living, but we are simply existing. Because the moment I start living, I start to pursue my personal goals. I start to pursue my destiny. I start to pursue the calling for mercy. I start living that person that God created. The thing that God wanted me to do in life, I start now pursuing it. What comes out from me now then, I start being kind and more loving to myself. I project strength, because when I am not alive, I look like I'm living, but I'm not living. Even when I'm going out there, there is a weed or a crowd that covers me, that doesn't project the glory of God in me, because the real original me is not existing. The real original me is buried and locked, either by the pain or the situations that we've gone through, or the children that I'm bringing up. There are so many other things that are surrounding me, that mercy seems to be walking every day, flowing with life, getting jobs, going to college. But even the course that I am doing, I am maybe doing it because it's the one maybe probably I'll be able to get a, or it is the one I did the first time when I finished Form 4 and my mom took me to that college, and I am just flowing with it. But am I really living? So I want you to ask yourself today, are you living, or are you simply existing? How do I know whether I'm living or I'm existing? One of the things that will help you know is when I'm just existing, just doing life. I will have many goals, but all my goals will revolve around other people but me. So if I remove all these other people, I will realize I have no goal that relates directly to me. So that makes you awaken yourself from that, and now start asking yourself, what am I living for? So that now you stop living for all these other people. It is okay to do all these things. It is okay we are called to do all these things. But at the end of it all, apart from my children, because you bring up children, they grow, they get married, they have their life. Sometimes you can bring them up and they don't become, because you cannot become them. You remember the other time we were discussing and we said, you have your life, they have their life. You can guide your children, but you cannot become them. So you can imagine if your life and your purpose and your goals revolve only around your children. What if they fail and they do not now achieve these goals? What if you are taking them to school and they have refused to go to school, they have refused to perform, or maybe they get into a problem? What happens? You sink into very deep depression, because the only purpose you had for life, or why you are living, is because of them. So when they are not doing well, how will you cope if you had no other reason to live? The other thing that helps you know whether you are existing, or you are living, you are existing, you are just doing life, or you are living, it is you will find you have a purpose that is completely separated from other people. This is where, like when you're talking about relationships and dating, when you tell somebody, when you're dating somebody, or when you're relating, some of the things that you check is that that person comes to help you build up your purpose, not to remove you from your purpose. So when you are not living, you're existing, you will not even have a personal purpose that you're living for. So what happens? You flow with their purpose. You flow and you project a lot of weakness, because when you don't have anything of your own that you're really holding on to, when you're working for your future, if you look at your future like 5 years from now, you can be able to say, this is what I want for mercy. If you do not have something like that for yourself, it means you are still not living. You have the goal, yes, for your children. You have the goal for your marriage. You have the goal for these other people. But 5 years from now, where do you want mercy to be? Where do you want to be? What is it that you feel? So that now you get to a place where you call, the space where we call actualization. Where we stop working for money, where we stop doing things for other people. I do what I like doing. The moment I'm able to identify my purpose and my calling, the moment I get back to me, then I am able to do what I like, what I enjoy. Because now I am getting into the inner me, listening to that inner person that was created by God, and now bringing out that which I was created to do. So today, I want you to ask yourself, if you remove all these people that surround you, assuming your husband is not there, assume your children are not there, remove all of them. When you're seated there, what are you living for today? You. What is it that you are pursuing that is related to you? Wake up, assess yourself, and answer to these questions. Number one, what is it that I am called for? What is it that I'm strong in? And when you start answering those questions, there are some things that will naturally be able to do. You sit down and have personal goals for you. And personal goals are related to me, are related to my calling. So I can have a health goal. It is about me. How will I take care of my health? How will I take care of how Mercy looks? That means when I wake up in the morning and I'm dressing myself, I'm not dressing myself for my husband or for my, it is still okay. But I am doing it. I am dressing, I'm putting on that dress that I like. I am taking care of my face for me, not for another person. So that even if that person does not appreciate, the first person who appreciated me is me. So I'll dress myself and I will look at myself in the mirror and I am happy with the way I look and I appreciate myself. What are the health goals I want to have for myself? What am I eating? Am I just eating anything, anyhowly? Sometimes we are so mean to ourselves that even cooking a meal. I remember like that time, it's very common with the ladies especially, when the family is not there, the children are not there, I decide I'm not cooking. It's as if me, I do not deserve to eat well. So when they are not there, I will not cook. Why am I not cooking? It is because somehow I do it for them, not for me. But if I really value myself, I will be able to go to that kitchen, prepare a good meal for myself, and sit down and eat it. I'll be able to plan a day. I go out and do swimming for my own health, not for any other person. I'll be able to prepare that cake and eat it because I'm taking care of me. So that when all these people are not there, can Mercy still be able to live? Can Mercy be able to deliver what Mercy was called for? Or she has delivered all the other. If my son or my daughter decides to do their life in the way that I did not expect, will I still have the same strength? I remember there's a time I was also shocked with my reaction. I met a lady. I like encouraging people. Naturally, it will flow in me. So I would meet ladies, maybe you've lost your husband, a man has lost their wife, and I had that thing of encouraging them, and giving them hope that God is going to do something. But one day, I found myself, she was a senior lady. The children are big, they are old. It was just her and her husband. So the husband died. And she was holding me because, the fear, the shock of the loss. And she did not leave me all the way to the mortuary, all the way to her house. She's holding me. I can tell she's suffering. But I was so surprised that for this particular lady, I was trying to open my mouth to say something to her. I do not know what to tell her. I was trying to relate with what is she feeling about her husband, maybe probably because of the experiences I had. And I don't know what to tell her. And it's when I realized in that space of love, in that space of marriage and husband and that, I was so disconnected that the fact that, she loved her husband, I could not even be able to, why is she crying? Why is she so broken? So all this time when I was encouraging people and telling them, hold on to that, I did not realize that I did not even know how it felt to really love somebody that you're breaking down for them as your husband. It is when I went back to myself and I realized I related with God because I've always loved my God. But I related with Jesus as my brother. I had no relationship with God as a father and with God as a husband. For some reason, I would always be very comfortable and my prayers, my everything revolved around Jesus. And it's at that, when sometimes you go through situations, it's when you realize how deep your situation is. So, and unless you get out of it, now this lady is seeking help from me, but I'm not able to help her because I have to deal with my own pain. I had to deal with my own separation. I have to deal with it, face that reality. Once I face it, only then can I be able to help another person. So if you are there and you're living, I want you to ask yourself today, are you living or are you just doing life? Are you living or are you just existing? And if you are existing, it is a call back to bring yourself back to life and start living for you. Take some time alone. If you need some help, you can seek counseling, but take some time alone. Go back to the original you. The original you is that young man, is that young girl before life. You know, we say it's life. When we are saying it's life happened, before life happened, the person that you are. If you look at it in the best way, is you look at the children. You know, when kids are young, if you ask them, they want to be a pilot, they want to be a doctor, they want to be big things. All of them, every child when they are young, they want to be big things. They're able to dream big about themselves. But after some time, when life happens, then we don't have goals. Sometimes we are not even sure what we want. We are doing life. We are living this life, but we really are so disconnected with the life that we actually are existing, but we stopped living. We post our own life. And unless I reawaken myself, I rekindle that original me, I will never be able to fulfill my purpose in life. I have a purpose beyond my children, beyond my husband, beyond my wife, beyond my family, beyond my mother, beyond my church. I am called for a purpose. I am created for a purpose. It will be very sad. Imagine if you exist all your life and die. And then when you are dead, your book is opened and you see the great person that you are supposed to be. A person that you never became, a person that you never experienced, a person that you never thought of because you remained clocked in the pain, you remained, held in the situations. It doesn't matter how deep that pit may be. It doesn't matter how painful the situation is. Just step out and allow yourself to face that situation. You wake up in the morning and you say, yes, I'm hurting, it is painful, today I'm feeling lonely, but I am feeling it, but I am willing to step out and face it and get out. Because unless you face that pain, you will never heal. Unless I accept the reality that I am hurting, I'm angry, this thing was bad, and accepting means I'm not blaming myself. I am not feeling like I am guilty because of feeling pain or because of feeling hurt or because of feeling angry. You can get angry, but do not sin. It is okay not to be okay. It is very okay not to be okay. Because unless I accept that I am not feeling okay, I will never be okay, because I will never start the journey to start helping myself to heal and to process this pain and to process this situation that is making me feel bad. I will never go to that person and discuss, by the way, when you do this, you hurt me, or I'm angry because of this. I will never get a solution for a situation that I have not been able to face. Even if I keep escaping and running away from myself, for how long are you going to run away from yourself? So if you don't rekindle your original self, you'll be lost in sex, you'll be lost in alcohol, you'll be lost in church. You'll be feeling so lost and frustrated. You will have people look down upon you. You will have very low esteem because you stopped living. So allow yourself to face the pain. Allow yourself to face this situation so that you now start making steps to your healing. And now you start living. Have a journal and write the things that you want to do for yourself. Set your personal goals so that you start now your recovery process. Intentional goals, and take intentional steps to your healing process so that now you start becoming the person that God destined you to become. So as we had today's program, the call is, let me go back to myself and assess myself. What am I living for? What is my purpose outside all these people? Am I living or am I existing? And if I'm existing, I have a chance now to rekindle my original self, to have those steps of me becoming again and start living a fulfilling life and a purposeful life. Because unless I do that, I will die and I will be lost. Because the person that was supposed to exist, the person that was supposed to live, the person that God created will have not lived their life. So wake up and remember, it is okay to have all these feelings. The only thing we need to do, I have to now start working on myself so that I can start processing these situations and start becoming. It is possible, it is doable. It is possible for me to start living. Just arise and rekindle that original person, because that original person is beautiful, is wonderful, is a great person and can shake the world. God bless you so much. Let us meet next time for more fulfilling and hope restoring sessions at HopePulse. And remember to keep that path of hope. God bless you.
When life happens as it does, then there is a lifting up. HopePulse with Mercy Njoroge.
Today we are doing our 6th episode. We are discussing the topic, uniquely unique it is. In our last episodes, we discussed the why, what, and we said all these things happen because you're in a battlefield. We again discussed the soldier who is in the battlefield, and this soldier can get hurt, the soldier can get trapped, the soldier wins. Last time we discussed the stepping out because you are called. And we finally said, step out. And as you're going through your process, do not compare yourself with anybody. We are continuing with that topic, and we are saying we are unique beings. And because I am unique, I should not compare myself with anybody. Just the way from one mother, you get one is brown, one is dark, one is tall, one is short. That is the same way that our call and our purpose is very, very unique. And if I try in any way to follow another person's process, I try to do it the way so and so does it, I immediately shift myself from the purpose of God. So I will not be able to deliver what God intended me to do as long as I am doing it their way. I am doing it no matter how good that person is. Do it your way, because your calling is very unique. I am hurt. I am going through a process. Go through your process in the unique way, because God has called you in a very unique way. In the book of Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, the Lord says, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I chose you, or I consecrated you and anointed you as a prophet among nations. So before God created me and you, He knew us. He chose us. Then He set us apart for a particular purpose. So it is very, very important that I am able to bring out the unique me. I am able to bring out that special thing that God has put in me. And the only way I can be able to effectively do that is when I take the challenge to do it my way. It may not look perfect, it may not look so ideal, but as I continue doing it and pursuing it in the unique way that God has called me to do, then it will blossom, and people now will now follow me because I have been able to succeed in doing it in my way. Think about this. When you look at the sector of transport, most of the innovators, imagine if the person who innovated the plane was imitating the person who developed the vehicle and kept on getting stuck there, you would not be having the plane. It is because they stood above that and started to utilize the unique abilities that God had put in them and taking the challenge to be able to think beyond the ordinary, that now today we have the planes. Most of the innovators, if you look at them, it is because they stepped beyond the ordinary. And so the unique thing that is put in them, they were able to bring it out. You may have sisters in the same house, but one can sing, the other one is quiet, the other one is, hot-tempered, another one is patient. How are they same mother, same father, yet so different in the way they approach things? So if they are so different even in the way they approach things, even as a family, why do you expect that you can be able, your purpose is done done in the same way that another person who is different from you is doing it? So do not compare yourself. I want to give you a personal testimony. One time, I have a cousin that I love, a dear cousin to me, and I love that lady. And she has been very supportive to me through my healing process. So I think because of the love and the friendship that we share, she had a very long story, her life's journey, and she had done a book. And in that book, there's a particular story that she has shared, and she was talking about the silence of God and how she went to that, a retreat, and how in that moment of the silence of God and how she transited to now after that hearing God. And as I was listening to her and following her, I think out of admiration, in my healing process, which it is still good to learn from the other person, I was learning from her, and I am trying to carry some good points. But somehow I found myself photocopying her process into Mercy. And when I was doing that, I found myself, we have different personalities. There are people who are extroverts, I'll talk about it, and there are those who are introverts. There are people we call their egos, their doves. We are all very different. So for her, she's a very contemplative, a quiet person. So what she was talking about is she went to a place where you go and meditate in solitude alone. That is her way. That is the process that she was working for her. Then Mercy comes and photocopies, and I went for that now contemplative session, and I took myself to a 3 days retreat. I remember I booked on a Friday so that I'm there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When I got myself there, I went to it's a big place, a retreat center. So when I went there, Mercy goes and sits down to the first step. I went there, I remembered all the sins I've committed, all the things I have done. And I was crying. I got stuck the whole afternoon that day. And I went, I had my lunch. And then the following day, I'm repenting and repenting. I went the following day. The following day, I went now to the place. It is actually written, the silence of God. So I went and sat there. And I really seriously meditated. I meditated on all my problems, on all the things I had suffered, on all the people who have hurt me, and I meditated and I remembered and I brought them out, and by the time I was done, I was literally bursting from within. And all the anger, all the pain, all the frustrations, I had taken my 3 days to seriously meditate on them. Not as a healing process. Now I am disconnected with God. I went to fight God. But because the process I used was very different, by the time I was finishing the first call, I called the minister, I was screaming and crying, and I feel like I want to beat everybody that has ever hurt me in my life. So when I finished, I left that place broken, frustrated, confused. You can imagine you have gone to a place of prayer for 3 days, like looking for healing, and you come out very broken. And what I came to learn it is not that the process was wrong. It is only that I did it her way. It worked for her, but it doesn't have to work for me. Because when you are going through your healing process, or when you're trying to do something, you must first understand who you are, what works best for you. And I want us to pick these learning points. Number one of the key things that was very different between me and her, she's more introverted, so working in solitude works well for her. She's more quieter, so that meditative, silent nature will work better. I am more extroverted, so my process is different, because when introverts, their energy is from within, they recharge from within. Extroverts, their energy is out, so they want to talk about it, you want to share, you want to discuss that issue. Whereas these ones, they deal with it from within. So an introvert most of the time they will journal, they'll write somewhere what they've gone through, they will want to walk somewhere where it's quiet, in solitude, spend some time alone, so they're able to, recharge and process the situation they are going through. Sometimes extroverts enjoy time alone, but most of the time, when they are especially going through difficult situation, it works better in a support group, because their energy is out. So if you find yourself now you are going through a situation, for one person it will be okay to go into that space of solitude, but for another person you may be requiring a support group. So for me, the mistake I did, I took Mercy and tried to be my friend and my cousin. So I took her process and started processing my pain or my situation in the way that I worked for her. But because I am so unique and different, the process that is working for Mercy cannot work for her, as much as we are very close and very good friends. For example, you might find two people, both of them have lost a loved one. The introverted person might want to spend more time alone, so they'll take a little longer maybe to get back to church, to get back to work, because they are trying to process, but because their way of processing is from inside, they are recharging from inside, they feel a bit, I would say, they get tired, they get overwhelmed when there are too many people, everybody wants to tell them this, it wears them out. So that space of being alone works better for them. So you'll find such a person, or if you're that particular person, you will find, if you're dealing with such a person, if you keep on, hey, every time you want to talk to them, you'll find sometimes you feel like they don't want to talk. It's not that they don't want to talk, it's because the way they are made, that kind of energy external is not part of their strength. So you might find them getting choked, and you say, hey, I'm trying to help this person, and they look like they are unresponsive, they are not positive to the help. Especially at that particular time when they're in that state of pain, you will find you have to work on yourself, if you're an introvert, to be able to welcome people, to be able to give them time to share, because most of the forces from within will be pulling you to being alone. But of course, you still need to give yourself that time, because you need to process a lot. But because you don't want to sink down into depression, then you take time to make sure you are writing, you're visiting, quiet nature places to distract your mind. So that again, you also don't get quiet and go down and sink into depression. Then the ones who are extroverted, sometimes you want to talk until now again, if as you're talking, you're also making the ones who are supporting you get tired. You're overwhelming them, because you're on their case every time. It is about you, it's about your situation, it's about the problem, and because maybe they're also going through their own situations. So you'll find these people, they are all struggling, but struggling in different ways. But if they understand themselves, so the extroverted person who needs a support group will look for a good support group. They maybe will require to get very quickly to a good counselor, so that they have a place, a safe space to be able to air out and to speak out the things that they are going through. The other things that I also learned from that, it is good to to separate, to appreciate the uniqueness that God has put in us. Number one, when I'm going through this process, we may be going through the same situation, but we are also not at the same level. The same level means what? It is yesterday. It may have happened the same day. But maybe in my journey, I'm at stage 1 and the other person is at stage 2. How we progress, it also depends on various factors. Maybe the way you've been brought up. Maybe the experiences that you have had. For example, if you suffer loss, one person, it's the first person they have lost in their family. It is the first experience. Then you have another person. This lady, she lost her husband. She has lost her child. Now, they are both processing maybe the death of a mother. The processing of these two people may be very different. This one may be stronger and maybe be able to process it faster because it's not the first time. This one, it may be very, very hard because it is the first time they're experiencing something like that. Also, still, you can find this one who is doing it at that time can find it very hard because depending on how they received and how they processed the first one. So the second one and the third one opens up the ones that were there before. So they can easily be crushed. And somebody out there may be looking at them and saying, why do they look like they are overdoing it? It is not necessarily that they are overdoing it. It's because our experiences in life are different. The stages at which we are, even in dealing with other things that we have encountered from birth, we are all at different levels. So when we encounter the same thing, if you put ourselves in the same page and try to process the situation in the same way, somebody along the way is going to get crushed. If you burden yourself to trying to process it and get over it the way the other person did, then it means at some point you're going to lose yourself and you'll feel like the world is so unfair. You start losing confidence in yourself because now you feel like maybe you have a problem, maybe you are too emotional, many things that makes you, because now you're looking at your page, you're reading the page of mercy, but now when you're reading it, you're not reading the notes of mercy, you're reading the notes of your friend, you're reading the notes of your faith, of your neighbor. So when you're trying, it is the book belongs to mercy, but mercy is reading the notes for the neighbor. How will mercy be able to perform as mercy as long as the notes that she's reading and trying to implement are the notes of the neighbor? So allow yourself to unleash the unique person that you are. I want us to look at other personalities and other things in our lives that make us so different that we need to allow to assess when we are looking at the things that we want to do in life. So apart from dealing with our healing, we are also called for a purpose. All of us, we are called for a purpose. And when you are called for a purpose, it means I have gone to college, maybe I've done accounts, I have done arts, I've done, in that particular accounting, one person will be working maybe in a hospital as an accountant. It is still the same career, but the calling is directed for something different. Another one, he still has done accounts, but maybe they will find themselves being led to a financial institution. Another one will be led to another direction. You find people, somebody has a gift as a preacher. One is an apostle, another one is a teacher. Another one is called to, maybe the one is called to the deliverance, another one is called to the teaching ministry. All of them are gifted. If the one who is in deliverance or the one who is an apostle tries to become a teacher, because there is a certain teacher who is doing so well and they are trying, yes, you learn from them, but you do not become them. You can take the good points of maybe the experiences they've had in the ministry, but you must remember, you are you. If I'm an apostle, my ministry will be different from that of a teacher, because a teacher is a teacher and an apostle is an apostle. So they are both working for the same master. The goal, the ultimate goal, they are winning souls for Christ, but in very different dimensions. Another one is maybe just called to serve among the poor and the weak. One is maybe to feed them, to clothe them, to visit them. Another one is to talk to them and to encourage them. Another one is to support the children. All of them, they are supporting them, but they are all doing it very differently. So if all of us are able to start in our space and to be able to thrive, it is when, as much as I want to do this thing, it is being done by other people, I recognize the fact that I am going to teach, I am going to sing, I am going to do this thing. This thing I'm going to do has been done by other people. But mercy has been called at this time, in this season, and is positioned for a particular group of people. So do not deliver it the way that person did, because maybe they did it because the calling, the people they were called to minister to required that. But now you have been called. You have been called for that particular group. Are you sure that method you are using is the one that they are going to hear? Are you sure that the language you are using or the rhythm you are using is the one that is going to touch them? So you are called doing the same thing, targeting the same people, but fulfilling very unique purposes. We have some few characters and personalities I want us to look at. And I want us to look at them with their personalities used by birds. And we have one type of personality that is a dove. A dove, it's kind, patience, people who loving, want to be at peace generally with other people. So if me, I'm a dove, I want to be kind, I want to consider people. So meaning, the way God has made me, my calling may be aligned to serving people. That is why He has prepared me and made me in a way that I'm patient, I'm able to listen to them, I'm able, I naturally will be able to release love to these people, because that is what God wants me to do. There is another personality who is an owl. An owl is quiet, very tactical, very analytical, very spectacle. So an owl is not out there. They will analyze situations. They'll be very cautious when they are taking their steps. Now, if an owl tries to become a dove, it will be very, very difficult. So let me give in terms of careers. This very analytical, a very cautious person may be very good when they are doing something to do with IT, because they are sitting, looking at all the codes and everything, and it works well for them because they are taking time, they are keen to the details. Now, the all kind wanted to be the people understanding them. So there is something in them that requires that social environment. They can, both of them, take IT, but the all will succeed more and will progress in that career. The dove may be thinking they are not good enough, but it's not that they are not good. They are just doing what is not good for them. But imagine that dove person goes and becomes a nurse. She will be one of the best nurses, because now these people, they need that love, they need that care, they need the patience, they need this person who can be able to listen to them and to hold them. So in that place, in that space, that person will work very well. Take the old there. They are very cautious. So these people, they have these diseases. I might catch one of the diseases. They do not want to talk so much. They don't want to be out there. They want to be alone. So if they both of them are in the same field and they are nurses, then here now the dove calls the shot. So the dove may be thinking of, this old is not good. It's not that the old is not good. That person is good. It is only that they are positioned in the wrong place. So when God made us, we are all good in our own way. But now, if I'm good, but in the wrong place, so meaning the grace and the good and the skills that I have are placed in a place where they are not needed. So what happens? You feel intimidated, you feel lost, you feel incapable, you feel unrecognized. And you strive so much and struggle to be able to perform because you are doing something that you are not made to do. We have other bad characters, the peacocks. The peacocks, they are out there, Sometimes they can be very intimidating. You want everybody to know. They want to please people. You know, they are just there. You have to recognize that I am here. So they do things most of the time for the people, which is still also a strength. So you will find they will want attention. So if you don't recognize what they have done, they will get hurt. So imagine now a peacock, now that person, people to see, to hear, they want that. That is their place. And then now you go and take them to an IT department and lock them there, or in an accounting office and lock them there. This person will not deliver anything. Actually, because they talk a lot, you know, they are talking, and you make them their secretary. Before you know, the secrets of the secretary, all of them, they are out, because by nature that is who they are. So they will not even realize, because they will be talking. By the time they are done, they've already said what they were not supposed to know. You keep on firefighting. So they will fail in that career. Is it that they are bad? No. But imagine now that peacock being a politician out there. They will deliver. Take that person to marketing. You know, they are marketers. Those marketers who are marketers, they sell things that they don't even understand, and they will convince you that this thing is there, because they think loudly, and they are just out. They enjoy being there. So even if they go to this office and to the other one and to the other one, that is where they are happy when they are out there. If you take the old to go and do marketing, they'll be very, very frustrated, because number one, they'll be using a lot of energy, because they are trying to go there when they enjoy the solitude. And now you are telling them to go and talk to people. Imagine how they go and they are trying to sell, and then somebody says, why should I buy this thing? By just being told that, they will go home very frustrated. People don't even want to buy this product. I think these products are not good enough. Not because the whole is a bad person. It is just because they are doing what they are not meant to be. And then now the peacock, you take them and make them the secretary, or you take them and take them to the IT department, they will fail you desperately. Now somebody will be sitting there and thinking they are so incapable, they are failures, but they are not necessarily bad. You take the same person now and take them to where their strength is, then they will be able to perform, and they will deliver results that they will surprise the world because of the things they do. Take another person like an eagle. An eagle is a leader, aggressive, you know, they are assertive. They dominate, you know, they lead. Those are the leaders in the companies, in businesses. So, and they are a bit impatient. They want us, you know, move. So they want you to be in the move. They want you to do it. They want you to project capability. Now, this ego, you take them to a social career where they are supposed to be dealing with the people who have lost hope, people who are emotionally broken, and they are wondering why all this crying. You know, they think they are being babies. Can't you deal with it? Can't you just handle this thing? So now this person, people will be saying, hey, this pastor is a challenge, because now he's supposed to be pastoring them and taking care of them. When they are crying, they are calling them, and now he's thinking these people are just being childish. Can you mature? So it's not that he's a bad person. Take him to a place where you needed administration, you needed direction. That person delivers. Because even when they are not sure, they are able to call the shot. This is the way we are going to do, and this thing needs to be done by this time and the other time. Take a DAF, and you give them out that same position of leadership, because they want everybody to be happy. The moment they say we don't want it that way, now how do you want it? So you'll find they are okay with the people, but nothing is happening, because they want to please everybody, and it's very difficult for everybody to be okay with everybody. You'll find a DAF can easily be conned. And then now take the case to the ego. How are you conned? But you see, now the DAF will have a problem with boundaries. So they are happy, they are laughing. So they receive people easily. When you talk to the old, before you can con an old, but you need to be very tactical, because they are very conscious. They have analyzed a number of things. So when they are addressing these things, even when they are processing things, it will be very, very different. So you are there and you want to do something. What do I want to do? First and foremost, understand, who are you? Who is Mercy? How does Mercy deal with her issues? What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? What am I able to do best? Even if you do not know, please go to your counselor or somebody who will be able to work with you so that you are able to bring out that unique person that you are. If I go out there and I want to go and start singing, yes, I will sing. Tomorrow I'm required to go to a certain church and present. I am a no. Me and people is a no. Now, I will do that, but I will fail. Is it that I am not good? No, I am good. But then, is that the right career for me? I go there, I have taken hotel management, I want to manage hotels, blah, blah, and I am an ego. Like, for example, by character, I'm that kind of a person, you know, I'm impatient, I'm what? Yes, I can start the hotel, but definitely, I do not go there, the position of being at the reception or the waiter. I can manage it from a managerial point of view. But if I'm the one out to deal with the members here, keep on smiling at them, how are you, you're welcome. By the time you are done by evening, you have already looked at some of them. Somebody was arguing about their change and you already lost your patience and you are there, the business is going down. Not because you cannot manage, you can manage, but are you placed in the right position? So what do you want to do in life? Are you really fulfilling the purpose of God? Because unless I am very clear on who I am, because who I am and my strengths and weaknesses, they speak to my calling. So first and foremost, what exactly am I doing? What was my inspiration? Am I preaching because my brother is a preacher? Am I writing books because my sister writes books? Am I in the hotel business because my mother was managing the hotel and I just found myself there? Am I in that business because another person was doing it? So go back to yourself and reassess yourself and ask yourself. We have said, go, take a step. But even as I'm taking my step, I'm taking that step towards what direction? For you to be able to perform, for you to be able to thrive, for you to be able to unleash your full potential, it is the moment you recognize who you are, you assess and bring out your unique person. And as you're also doing that, be very patient with you. There is always that first step. And the first step cannot be the same with the step number 20. So agree to make those mistakes. Because of course when I'm doing it in a unique way, the first thing I do, because the preacher who preached yesterday will feel like I didn't preach it exactly the way we are used to doing it. So because it's unique in it, allow yourself to make those mistakes and don't panic. I have written this book. I am doing this project and this is the business I want to do. Yes, people have hotels, but there's that unique way I want to do it. When I am doing it, it may not be applauded at the first instance, but even if it is not, recognize, of course, when you're dealing with new things, people will be skeptical. People will take time before they can understand this new thing that you're trying to do. But if you continue pursuing and persist in it, the God will be able, you'll be able to bring out that unique thing, that unique personality, and you'll be able to pursue not what your sister is pursuing, not the goal of your mother, not the purpose of your father. You will pursue the purpose of mercy. You will deliver. You will be able to live up to your purpose and you will be able to reach your destiny. Because as long as I am doing what another person is doing, as long as I am fulfilling or implementing the strategy for my neighbor, I will never become. I will always be below them. I will always depend on them because then they are following their purpose. Me, I'm not. So I will not be driving well enough because I'm off my space. So today, the take home is this. I am unique. You are unique. And because I am unique, in every step and stage of my life, I approach it with a uniqueness that God has put in me, so that I do that which I'm good in. I do that which I am convinced with the uniqueness, not reading the page of the other person. If I am going through a situation, I allow myself to process it, whether it is good or bad. It could even be something happy. It's a celebration. Maybe it could even be a wedding. There's somebody who wants a quiet wedding in a hotel, or 3 of them, or they just go to the church and it's done. There's somebody who enjoys the big one where the whole community and all the neighbors, all of them, they are okay. It is only that everybody is following their path. So today our call is, you're unique, I am unique. Just the way you are tall, another one is short. Another one is brown, another one is dark. You're unique. Take the step, but take it in your space, in your path, and follow your unique route. If you do that, you will become what God destined you to become. And be sure, when you do that, at the beginning, it will be difficult because it is unique, it is special, it has never been there. So the person who will first listen to it, they'll be experiencing something new. So some will be very happy and excited, others will doubt. But if you don't doubt yourself, you will not kill your destiny. So step out there. You are unique and your purpose is unique. You are called for a purpose. Don't follow their purpose, follow your purpose. God bless you, and remember to keep that path of hope.
When life happens as it does, then there is a lifting up. HopePulse with Mercy Njoroge.